Welcome back to the Common Room Live. That was Abba Fernando. I got the song right, Ash!
That's right, you've actually got it right for once. We wanted to play Fernando, and damn it, we did.
It's not easy.
I love ABBA.
I love ABBA too. But yeah, anyway.
From Eurovision, of course.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a big Eurovision fan,
Yes,
for people who don't know.
All right, you ready for the next subject, Ash? And it's our favourite.
Yeah, nah, mate, yeah, nah.
All right, first one's for you, straight off the block. Kindergarten should be free nationally.
Oh, yes, I definitely agree with that.
I think I can agree with that one. It's going to encourage kids to get an education early. It's going to help, especially coming out of the COVID pandemic. And this has come after Victoria announced that kindergarten will be free. I think it's from next year. But it's basically the government will subsidise kindy so people can get their kids in Victoria into kindergarten.
Well, these kids will definitely need to socialise after being stuck with adults for the last however many months.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It would be interesting.
These kids are going to turn out weird if they don't talk to some people their own age. That's all I've got to say.
Well, I'm always interested not just in kindergarten, almost all year levels, especially year 12. I think that would be an interesting year. Receptioners would have been. It would have been interesting to see how many receptioners were pulled out of school during the COVID period. Do you get what I mean? Like the year 12 one, that must have been... Can you imagine the stress of exams? I've said it a couple of times. The stress of exams, world pandemic on... Like, that's just torture.
You know, if you ask me, I reckon they had it easy. They had an extra 2 months to study for their exams. There's no excuses.
Despite the world pandemic killing millions of people.
Yeah.
What have you got for me?
All right. We are living in the golden age of television. Yeah or nah?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Technology. Look, when you look at technology, you would have to argue yes, because we've never had better picture, we've never had better, sound quality. There's just so many things that are better technology-wise. Story-wise, yes and no. But can you? My argument is, how do you know you're in a golden age when TV's never ended? Do you get what I mean? Like,
whoa, that's deep, man. Well, I'd argue that we're not in a golden age of television. We're in a golden age of Netflix and Stan and Amazon Prime and Disney
streaming
Plus.
Services.
So everything seems to be on streaming, and it doesn't have that same feel like the golden age of television, which I'd say maybe early 2000s?
90s, maybe. 80s even had some good shows.
I'd say early 2000s. That's when you stopped having TVs that went back 400 meters and they were flat.
Yeah.
Sure, they would catch fire because they were plasma and hotter than the sun, but they were flat. And you had great shows. That's when you first started getting your dramas in there, like your serious, high-budget dramas.
Yeah, I think the other thing is what was great around that era is that you had to wait for the next episode. The problem is I think the tension is kind of wrecked when you can just binge series these days.
When you can binge the whole lot, it's gone in a day.
There's so many things that they'll release a series all at once now, which is interesting.
In fact,
I don't mind the services that still do it week by week.
I won't even watch The Mandalorian at the moment because I'm waiting for them all to come out so we can just binge them.
Well, that defeats the point there.
What's the mentality of that? I'm denying myself so I can ruin it for myself just by doing it all in once.
But it's like Easter chocolate, right? It's like Easter chocolate. I always used to get told this: don't eat all your Easter chocolate on Easter. Spread it out a few days, that you can enjoy it.
My wife takes that far too far. We've still got Easter chocolate.
Oh, same. My sister, I'm not kidding you. Last Easter, she had 3 bunnies still from the last Easter.
Yeah. Madness. Absolute madness. You got to eat all that stuff the minute you see it.
Yeah, and then the other question is, are we getting better stories at the moment?
I reckon we're definitely getting more diverse than we used to get, which is great.
We're getting more diverse. I would argue we're getting more serious plots.
More serious plots, more plots that are less episodic. They move on in the story afterwards. Which, you know what? I like a classic sitcom that nothing actually changes at the episode. You can dip into one and come out of another.
Yeah, I like that too.
Your classic Simpsons. It's going to start with the 4 of them at home and then they go out for adventures and come back.
Yeah.
Or the same with Cheers
and
or in the pub.
And I argue that as well because when you've got that, when it goes back to normal, it means when something has changed permanently, it's even bigger. Like, I'll give you an example, Family Guy, right? When Brian the dog died for that short period of time, there were There's almost close to riots in the streets. People were very upset. And then they got the new dog to come in, and people were just like, I refuse to accept this. It brought it into such a different realm of fandom.
Or the different eras of Friends when Monica and Chandler are together, and Rachel and Ross are on a break. Oh, they're not on a break. It's like big drama over thing. But nowadays, for like a show to have big drama in it, it's got to go off in a completely different direction.
Exactly.
Because it changes each time.
Better get into the next year now.
We spent a long time on
good subject, though. I think we could come back to that.
Telly. Oh, yeah, I love telly.
The proposed upgrade to Highmarsh Stadium is a good thing. So that came out in the state budget today. Highmarsh Stadium is the soccer stadium, of course, which houses Adelaide United. So we're getting basically a big shade on the eastern stadium.
Is that it? A shade?
I think there's a bit more as well. I think it may also increase the capacity. I mean, it's only just come out. Details are up online for the state government. Oh, look, even if it is just a shade, I don't think it is, by the way. We're going to have to look it up. I think this is a good thing. I've been arguing this for a long time. When you upgrade stadiums, you get better events. No matter what the stadium is, no matter what events are held there, it is instantly better.
Well, they've done a fantastic job at the Adelaide Oval.
Yeah.
Hopefully they keep it to that sort of standard. Some upgrades can be unsympathetic to the old stadiums.
Yeah. And I understand that, because when Adelaide Oval got an announcement for redevelopment, people were not happy about it.
That was a great oval. I'm glad they kept maybe one of the historic features, but
they kept the right historic features. They kept the hill and they kept the scoreboard. You get rid of the hill and the scoreboard, we're going to have serious problems.
But the soccer stadium, this could start a whole new sort of love of soccer for SA. We had that time. It was a few years ago that we were doing really well in the world soccer. What was that?
Well, not just the world. Adelaide United, of course, won the A-League as well not too long ago. Back with, I think it was Amor, was still coach back then. Sorry, I can't get his name right always. But the other thing is, the other reason that they're upgrading it is because the Women's World Cup being hosted in Australia. So obviously they'll be wanting to get...
They're trying to get that here, are they?
Well, they'll be trying to get games here.
Excellent.
So in Adelaide. So, of course, that's going to bring a lot of eyeballs just on the screen as well. In a better stadium, more people, you know what I mean. So, again, I'll always argue is the more stadiums, the better quality of stadiums, the better events we're going to do.
I would 100% agree with you. You convinced me. I'm going to say, yeah.
What do you got?
All right. I'm gonna lower the tone a bit. I'm sorry, Brayden.
What have you got?
When you're on the toilet and you just done number 2.
This is live on air, Ash.
Oh, sorry. When you're on the toilet and you've done a number 2s, you wipe you and you're wiping.
Yeah.
You sit and wipe. Yeah or nah?
Yeah?
Oh, you're a sit and wiper. Interesting.
Please don't tell me you stand and get a good view.
Well, I was a stander for a long time, but you know what? I've changed. I've realised sitting is the way to go.
You just said that. Why would you do that on the live show?
Oh, I don't know.
I know it can't be edited out.
Exactly. I just want to know his live opinions live on air.
I'm glad the uni year's over because I would have loved that on episode 1. What the heck?
I wonder if we took statistics of the public. Please write in and tell us if you're a stand and wiper or a sit and wiper. I'm genuinely interested in this.
I've got a better question.
No photos.
I've got a better question. How much skid mark is too much skid mark when going to the bathroom?
I would say you have to have everything squeaky clean.
Yeah, I need to have clean bowl too.
You need squeaky clean.
Yeah, so because some of them, when you've got the 6 bathrooms and all of them have got skid marks, that's the real question. Anyway, back into it. Whoa, that went in a completely different direction. Okay, you would still take the COVID vaccine despite likely not knowing the long-term effects? Yeah, nah.
Oh, interesting, because that one's playing on the idea of vaccines may be harmful, and of course some can be harmful because there's not enough time to know the results. But then again, I really don't want to get COVID because that looks real bad. So I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to take the vaccine.
Yeah, I'm probably going to take the vaccine too. It's an interesting argument. I understand where these people are coming from, but you also got to, I think, because we know the short-term effects and how bad they are, I think I'd still just rather the vaccine.
That, right?
Yeah. That would be my opinion.
I mean, my thoughts are it's not going to be obviously awful. They're not going to inject us with radium or something because science has evolved to a stage that they can have a pretty clear idea on if it's going to be that awful or not.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want it to be dead set terrible. They understand. Like, you would hope they understand the risks that they're putting.
And sure, there may be short, long-term effects that we don't know, but like how bad can they be?
I've got a double dose for you now. Next one.
Double dose. I'll take 2 shots.
If the Victorian border opened up tomorrow, you would go to Melbourne. Yeah, no.
Well, I can't really afford to go to Melbourne.
Okay.
But
if money wasn't a thing.
I'd definitely go over to Melbourne. I got a family in Geelong that would be nice to visit.
So you would go to the city?
Oh, the city.
So that's what I mean by Melbourne. Melbourne as a city.
Melbourne as a city, the rat-infested. I'm sure it's nice. It's got lovely laneways. You know, I didn't have a single good coffee while I was in Melbourne.
What do you mean you didn't have a single good coffee?
They just can't make coffee properly. I had some that were too burnt. I had some that were too milky. They just can't make coffee properly.
Well, there might be good coffee. You just never found one. How many cups? If you only had 3 cups of coffee.
Oh, okay. Admittedly, I did go to Starbucks a couple times.
Again, in your opinion, Ash.
In my opinion.
Massive company that's really capable of big lawsuits.
They'll never come to Adelaide.
Okay, to answer that, I don't know if I'd go to Melbourne, the city. I'd go to regional Victoria. I'm fine with that.
But that was the question. The question was Melbourne. And you know, I think I might.
Do you think you might?
Yeah.
You might do that?
Have a little look around. It might be quiet.
It might be quiet. I think it is good, considering how many days of zero that they've had as well. Especially when they get to that 2-week mark, that's when I think the big, the amount of noise for opening up the borders will be heard. But anyway, that is enough of Yeah Nah. You are listening to the Common Room Live. I hope you're enjoying us. Remember, you can listen to us on Facebook. Well, not listen to us. You can like us on Facebook once I get that right. You can also listen to all our podcasts. We've got them on Google Podcasts. We've got them on Apple Podcasts. We've got them on Anchor FM. Catch up on all the episodes. We're going to be trying doing live episodes for most of the series now, but we've got to do a break soon as well, Ash. I mean, far out. We're going to celebrate Christmas.
Wednesday, 3 p.m. You can listen again.
Yeah, you can get it all on repeat. That's what you sure can. Now it is time for another song. Let's hope Brayden gets this one right. It should be, I hope it is, Oasis Wonderwall.
Play Wonderwall.